Hey guys, it's me, Hannah. So this is my first live stream here on YouTube, and I think we have a handful of people here. And even if we don't, then for the sake of the recording, I'm working through a 24-hour crochet challenge for an upcoming video. And I thought it would be fun to get on here and kind of hang out with anybody who's around, wants to hang out with me. I'm trying to see how many crochet Christmas gifts, holiday gifts I can get done in 24 hours, or as close to 24 hours as possible. I'm timing it. So I'm going to do a full 24 hours, and then I'll probably take a couple breaks here and there in order to, I don't know, use the restroom, grab a snack. I'll probably sneak in some sleep as well, but we'll see because I have a lot of work to do. Hi, Danielle. See a couple people over on Instagram too. Hey guys, thanks for joining. I am working on the Betty McKnit's 6-day star blanket, and I have less than 6 days to finish it. Thanks, Danielle. I know my hands have, I'm coming into this 24-hour project with 13, 15 hours probably already done for a couple blankets I'm working on, and my hands are feeling it. But yeah, I'll take breaks when I have to. I'm definitely going to be taking care of myself throughout. I've got my little afternoon coffee, some water as well. Thanks, Haley, for the t-shirt compliment. One of my faves. I've got a couple different projects I'm working on. I don't know if I've chosen the right project to be working on while I try and like hang out. It requires a little bit of thought. This 6-day star blanket, like you got to kind of keep track of where you are pretty consistently, whereas some of my other projects are relatively mindless, but this was the project I had in front of my computer. So this is supposed to be a 6-day project. Like that's what Betty McKnit's, the creator of the pattern that I'm using, that was her intention. You're supposed to spend about, according to her, about 2.5 hours per day on each of the days that she has mapped out. I'm not even done with day one, and I'm 6 hours in. I have a lot of confidence in my ability to crochet, and maybe a lot of delusion. I am outside of the 6-day star blanket that I'm working on now. I am also working on another blanket, and this is in kind of like a gingham pattern. So that'll be another Christmas gift. And then I want to make a beanie sometime today during the 24 hours. And then I've been working on a crochet hexagon cardigan that was, I don't know, trendy last year, but when I started it, if not even before then, and I still haven't finished. So I thought this is a perfect time to finish. I have this nice like color changing yarn that I really like, and I think it'd be neat to get that done today. And then as far as upcoming projects, I'm definitely like There's something about this time of year, um, that just makes me wanna crochet. Like, it's such a cozy craft and can be relatively mindless, so something I can pick up and work on while I'm watching Christmas movies or, you know, crafting with my girlfriends or whatever. It's just like a nice cozy thing to do. And so that's how everybody ends up getting crochet Christmas gifts, kind of across the board. Anybody who makes it onto the handmade roster when I can. Um, but yeah, so I've been kind of like slowing down a little bit with projects as we finish the year here outside of this coziness. Um, and I did like a big cleanup of my workspace back here, which was great. But yeah, going into 2025, I definitely have a bunch of big stuff planned, especially for a few upcoming cons, a couple balls in the mix, like fantasy balls that I like to go to. I'd love to make some stuff for those kinds of events. Um, I don't know. I've got some time in between Christmas and New Year where I can kind of sit down and start to map out the next year pretty nicely. It's something I did last year and like took my time doing, and that was very helpful. I have a big calendar on my computer that like helps me keep track of everything that I want to get done, prioritize a few things. A lot of cosplays have made the list, so we'll see. We'll see what we get done this year. I'm going to tilt down my camera too so you can actually see what I'm working on and see this really pretty yarn that I'm using. This is the mandala bundle from Lion. It's cute, um, pretty soft, although I'm getting like a little bit of rug burn on it because of the way that I hold my crochet projects, which is kind of weird, honestly. Um, I get a little bit of burn like right there across my finger. But oh well. I couldn't agree more, and that's why I was like, "Oh, this is something." It's certainly it's good for that kind of mindless like hang out while doing something with your hands, you know. So that's why I decided, hey, I'll do a live. Not only am I gonna be sitting here for 24 hours and gonna be kind of bored, just hanging out by myself, like I can do a live while I do some crochet. Again, I have to like try and figure out how to do some counting in between my mindless chatter, but so far so good. You'll probably see it in the video that I put out for this, but I kicked off this morning, or if you saw my Instagram story too, I kicked off this morning with getting about 20 minutes into the 24-hour project and spilling my coffee and having to pause for a little bit while I tried to clean it up. Luckily, I've got one of those rugs that I can toss in the wash. So once I'm done with the 24 hours, I got a couple chores ahead of me. I couldn't agree more. Everybody's got their own style of holding their crochet hooks and their yarn. Anybody else working on anything, making anything for holiday gifts? I always have such big ambitions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. That's always my intention. Using up the stash, always my intention when I set out to do a crochet project. And then it's like, well, I need more of this color in order to finish this project. So I have to go buy more yarn. And then I end up with extra. But I have a couple projects for myself that I'm trying to work through that are going to be a little bit more stash busty, including another star blanket that I'm using like a bunch of different like sized yarns and stuff. I'm just not sure how it's going to turn out, so I decided not to use that as a gift. Plus, you always work so hard on a handmade gift, and then you're like, well, I want to keep it now. It looks cool. I want to keep it. Especially when you've done the endurance sport that is crochet. No, this is why this is taking me so long. I keep missing my double crochet 3 together or 2 together, depending on what the pattern is calling for. You get into a rhythm, and then as soon as you do, it's time to switch up the type of stitch. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think that's right. Danielle, you're spot on. It's like, especially with blankets, I'll tell you that much. That my mother-in-law last year, I gave her a blanket last year, maybe the year before. And we were recently talking about how much she loves handmade gifts for Christmas from me, from my husband, from my sister-in-law. Uh, and she's like, I have your blanket upstairs, like it's on our bed, like on display. And here I am making another blanket for her, and I'm very concerned. I'm not genuinely concerned. It's a totally different blanket, but kind of concerned she's gonna be like, oh, and another blanket. But this one is intended for they're building a teeny tiny little cabin on a teeny tiny sliver of land they were able to grab um, out in the mountains. So it's meant to be kind of like specifically for that, and we'll kind of accompany some other gifts. I love to gift in themes. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Back it up again. Talking and counting, not going well. I can always switch gears too if I need to, but I feel like one of the other projects I'm working on through this 24-hour period is a beanie, which is going to be very straightforward, just up and back for I think I'm going to do like a 12 by 24 inch square or rectangle rather. And we'll go from there. But yeah, if I keep messing up over here, I might switch gears to that. But I'm just getting to the part where we have some new color in the mix. So that's kind of rewarding. Mixing up my stitches. This is also, I mentioned it up top, this is my first live stream. So if anybody has any thoughts or feedback, love to hear it. I like set this up thinking very selfishly, thinking, oh, I'll have my little community join me and keep me company while I while I work through these 24 hours. And then I was like, oh, but I have to talk. Well, I mean, I suppose I don't have to talk, but it'd be more fun for everybody if I'm chatting with you guys in response to your chats in the chat box there. But I decided I was going to do this like yesterday, so not a lot of prep time. All right, we are over 4 hours. Great. Only 20 to go. And for the few who have joined in the interim since I kicked things off, the goal here is to get through 24 timed hours in as close to 24 real time hours as possible. I'm already a little behind, had a couple hiccups up front. Plus, I'm doing my first live stream and also filming. So things I'm pausing for that kind of stuff, as well as like bio breaks, lunch, so on and so forth. Thanks, Danielle. I am using the mandala bundle from Lion Brand. Mandala. It's very pretty. I really like the colors, the color changing, and I like that I don't have to do the color changing myself, since that is all that my other project, my other blanket, is. It's just you do 10 stitches and then you change colors, and 10 stitches and you change colors. So happy to be taking a break from the color changing efforts. And so far pretty happy with this yarn. It's pretty soft. Acrylic, which I like working with, although I haven't had a lot of experience working with a lot of other types of yarns, not enough to like have anything to say about it. So oh, I fully agree. The color changing is the motivation here. It's what's keeping me driven right now. Let's see. And then I think that, oh no, I have to do one more double crochet 3 together. This is the Betty McKnitt's star pattern for anyone who might be wondering. 6-day star blanket pattern. And so far, I do like it a lot, but it requires brain power. Sometimes I am lacking. 1, 2, no, I'll do one more. Okay, so that'll complete that row, that round. Slip stitch it and then I'll show you guys. Maybe I'll slip stitch it, or I'll lose the stitch. There we go. So far, so good. I think that's coming along nicely. And again, those are going to be the colors. So I'm looking forward to kind of expanding, and I'm pulling from the center too. So kind of expanding with it in this color scheme. I have a number of skeins. I think I ended up with 5 in total that I got. I don't know if I'm going to end up using all of them, but probably using as many as I can in order to get a big enough blanket. But considering I've only gotten this far and used this much yarn, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. All right, let me get this stitch marker off. I haven't decided on a beanie pattern that I want to use for. Do I want that one too? Yeah, perfect. That I want to use for the beanie that'll be part of this. So if anybody has any recommendations, I'm all ears. Yeah, I know. It's huge. And I'm ideally using 4 or 5 of them. So I gotta start crocheting faster. That where that goes. I suppose so. I'll check the pattern too before I just proceed with utmost confidence. See, good thing I checked. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think I'm on a round of single crochet. So, the audacity. Glad I caught myself. Humbling. Yeah. 3 in each chain 3. Okay. Easy enough. I gotta mark these as well. Part of this pattern involves changing out the size of your crochet hook in order to avoid like curling up on the corners, which I have done a good job of, but I had to kind of skip a crochet hook size because I couldn't find mine. um, my 6 millimeter, so I bumped up to a 6.5 millimeter, and it I don't know if it's too big, but it feels like it might be a little. I don't know. It's turning out okay. Maybe I'm just getting in my head about it. So I'm making this for my, nope, not a double crochet, single crochet. Making this blanket for my grandmother-in-law, who has been a big supporter of my crafting. She herself is big on all kinds of crafting, sewing, needlepoint. She's donated a great deal of yarn to me, a great deal of fabric to me. Uh, so I'm always happy to hit her with a nice Hannah made gift around the holidays. Okay, that looks good. And then 3 in the peak here. Not double crochet. See, I get into a rhythm and my hands just want to do what they've been doing. I just did it again. Hope you guys are watching and can keep me accountable on this. And then that gets one. Mom. My mom's here, or my mom's on Instagram. Hey, Mom. Check out this star blanket, 6-day star blanket I made, or I'm making. I'm making it for Alex's grandmother. Happy solstice, Chrissy. Thank you so much. Yeah, I definitely was when I was shopping for the yarn color. there were a number that were really lovely, but I think I ended up getting this one because I love the colors, but two, it came in kind of a bundle, like a pack of 5 or something. A little bit of uh, price checking was involved in my decision making, but I'm very happy with it. I agree, it's very cozy. I do really like about this pattern that it does. I know I've been complaining about it, but I like that we yeah, cozy deal. Yeah, I agree. I like that it switches up between like the double crochets and then the single crochets and kind of, just adds a little extra dimension to it. Um, Not that the rows and rows of half double crochet that I'm putting in here with the color switching isn't intricate and valid, but this feels a little bit more technical, I guess. Um, Makes me feel like a proper crocheter. And this is definitely not my not typically my preferred medium when it comes to crafting, but I think I said it up top. It's that time of year. You want to pull out your fiber arts projects. To some of the new folks that joined recently, what are you guys? Anybody working on anything? I started this live stream to keep myself entertained. This is kind of a selfish project for myself, doing the 24-hour challenge. So chat me up. What's up? Oh, yeah. That I can't agree more. It is this is an endurance sport, crochet. Um I've had a couple of friends reach out since I posted on Instagram last night and be like, "Are you sure you want to crochet for 24 hours straight?" But for those who don't know, I still identify as an endurance athlete. It's been a while, but I used to run marathons. I've got an ultra marathon under my belt, and I don't know. I can just sit and do something for hours on end. So I think that's something I like about crochet. But I agree, like in terms of gratification, sewing projects are a lot more gratifying in less time. You see progress a little bit easier. But I love a time lapse of crochet. When this comes out, I think it's going to automatically post to my channel. Maybe I might have to do something to get it posted to my channel. But if anybody needs to watch it back and watch a time lapse, and by anybody, I mean me, to prove that I'm actually making progress. Oh, yeah, this could definitely turn into kind of a snowflake pattern as well. Snowflake adjacent with a couple tweaks. Did you make ornaments with snowflakes, or did you make like a bigger piece to the gang over on Instagram? One, two, three. Okay. Let's see. 2, 3. Did it again. Double crochet. That's not what we're doing. We're doing single crochets. It's just in those peaks too that I keep catching myself. Oh, that's perfect. Perfect. Snowflakes would be a great project, and they're smaller, so it's a little more back to the gratification. Thank you. Yeah, I love this is one of my favorite t-shirts. I'm constantly wearing it. Love my fellowship. There's a good question for everybody in the chat. Lord of the Rings, a Christmas movie? What do you guys think? I feel pretty strongly that it is. Actually, oh, I'm forgetting his name, but there's a creator on TikTok, Lord of the Rings, obscure Lord of the Rings facts guy. I think he recently posted a video about his opinion, which is that Christmas movies come on a scale. And that scale has Lord of the Rings on it. And it's probably at about 67% qualified as a Christmas movie compared to, like, you know, the Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas and It's a Wonderful Life. Like those are a little higher up, but in general, I definitely put Lord of the Rings like the same way that I want to pull out yarn at the beginning of the winter and start working on something cozy. I have that same inclination with starting a Lord of the Rings marathon. Oh, perfect. Bambi, that will be perfect. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. What other Christmas movies are on people's lists to watch? Or holiday movies, not necessarily just Christmas, but Christmas and Christmas adjacent movies are on people's list to watch before we get through to the new year. We've already got How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Muppets Christmas Carol, the ultimate Christmas movie. Got those down pat. I've actually watched Muppets twice, 2.5 times already. And would watch again if anybody wants to hang out and watch a movie sometime. For anyone joining or who hasn't been here since the beginning of the live, I'm working on the Betty McKnit's 6-day star blanket pattern. I'm in the middle of a 24-hour crochet marathon, and I'm working on I'm timing for 24 hours. I will be taking breaks for, you know, bio related needs. Might get a few hours of shut eye in there as well, but I have time, definitely have time Sunday to get some heavy naps in, and then I only have 1 day left of my day job on Monday before holiday break. So plenty of time to rest and recoup. And we mentioned before, this is an endurance sport, and I'm an endurance athlete, so Christmas Vacation is definitely on the list too. That I'm not big on Home Alone, but my in-laws are like, that's what they like to put on Christmas Day. And I think I might try and convince them to watch Christmas Vacation instead. I haven't watched Christmas with the Cranks though. Although I'm very interested in becoming the type of holiday vacationer that they like. From what I understand about the movie, they're like trying to spend a nice vacation, like get their vacation time during the holidays, which appeals to me. There's a lot of hullabaloo around the holidays, not to be a Grinch. But I don't know if I actually could could forego, family time and other festive traditions. So we'll stick with crocheting until the stroke of midnight on Christmas Eve, just like last year. Oh, yes, Die Hard for sure. I definitely have that filed as a Christmas movie as well, and should be on the list. Wonderful Life for sure. Christmas Story, a classic. Uh, oh, geez. I should have marked my single crochet stitch. I think it's over here. I'll mark that now. Yeah, the beginning of my single crochets, I think, is over here. Let me know if I'm wrong. I think that's it. That looks right. Oops. Let's see. Okay. Oh, thank you. I love wrapping Christmas presents. I take it very seriously, and I wrap all of darling husbands for him, except for the gifts he's giving to me, obviously. But any chance I get, I'm like, can I wrap that for you? And I'm also very I like to give gifts in kind of themes. So for my mother-in-law, who I'm making, we're doing a Secret Santa, so don't tell her. But I'm in the middle of making this uh, gingham black and white um, half double crochet blanket. It's going to be 21 by 21 of those squares, ideally, hopefully, if I have enough time. Um, so that is meant to be kind of a like cozy cabin blanket and is meant to go along with some other cabin related gifts. So if I can think of any other cabin related gifts, anybody have any suggestions? We have a couple local shops just down the street that'll be good for kind of filling out the rest. I have a few ideas for sure, but the blanket's going to be the big one. She's really into handmade stuff anyway, so that'll be what's most important to her. What other holiday traditions am I missing out on by choosing to sit and crochet for 24 hours? There's definitely a couple cool holiday like pop-up like markets and bars and stuff around. So I love a holiday cocktail. Catch me with an eggnog the whole season. They have a couple really cool makers markets here in Richmond as well. I sadly haven't been able to get to, but hopefully sometime once I'm once I'm done with this 24-hour shift, I might see if I have the energy to pop out, do a little Christmas shopping. I should have going during this 24-hour period is a little Yule log. Um, I have a fireplace. I don't know if we've used it in a while, so I don't. I'll have to check to make sure it's still up to snuff. But could get that going. There's also, I believe, on Max maybe. I think there's a calcifer Yule log from Howl's Moving Castle that I've been meaning to put on. But my favorite streaming Yule log, anyway, is Nick Offerman's. That is one of my absolute favorites. He just sits there with a glass of scotch, I think, and doesn't move very much. It's very zen. Maybe that'll be my next live stream if this goes well. Four and a half hours in. Oh, Jane is back here too, looking really cute. Tucked away in the little corner back there. What an angel. Wouldn't be one of my videos if there wasn't a cat appearance, right? Let's see. Oh yeah, Christmas light tours. That's a great idea. Even I live in a place where I can just pop out with like my own hot chocolate and go for a walk around the block and see a bunch of really good light displays. My little community here likes to there's like a women's league or something that goes around and passes out awards for people's displays for both Christmas and Halloween. And my neighbor goes all out. All out. For his decorations. I can't even imagine the energy bill. I thought about decorating my office and workspace too for the season, but if you saw my last video, you know, it was I like couldn't even walk in here. So I had to clean up first, and by the time it was clean, it was maybe not exactly worth it to get a bunch of Christmas decorations, holiday decorations up. So maybe next year. All right, that's another round done. It is slow going, my friends, but that's okay. We'll get another round in and then see where we land. I do appreciate that I have a couple different projects going all at one time, so that I can keep myself interested. Let me check the pattern again, make sure I'm doing it right. Nope, already doing it wrong. But yeah, I'll be able to kind of bop around to different projects throughout the 24-hour period. I've got another blanket I'm working on. I've got a hexagon cardigan I'm working on, and I've got a beanie I need to make. I might switch gears to the beanie soon. Just I need that gratification. I need a quick win soon before I lose steam. Let's see. Is that right? Need a slip stitch in there, chain 3, double crochet in the next 9. And that'll get me to the peak. This is where the counting comes in. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's where that needs to go. Do one slip stitch in there. And then double crochet in the next 9. Okay. Easy enough. Definitely at a point where it's like being able to do something mindlessly. It's helpful. I mentioned it before, but I'm still not set on a beanie pattern since I still need to make that beanie. I'd love to get that done in the next 24 hours, next 19 and a half hours. But I mean, I know how to crochet a rectangle. There are a couple different, I've seen videos recently. My algorithm knows that it's that time of year that we're pulling out the fiber arts. So I've seen a couple videos with a couple different ways to do a beanie. So I'm starting with like, I think a magic circle up top and then expanding it a little bit so that rather than doing a big rectangle and cinching it, which is something I have done in the past, but it does get a little bunchy there at the top. So and it's for darling husband. So double crochet, please. He can be a little picky, so I want to make sure it's something he actually wants to wear. But yeah, if anybody has any recs for beanies, beanie patterns, crochet. I've considered learning knitting, but I start these projects with 2 weeks left to Christmas and need to have them done by then. And it's like, I don't really have time to learn a whole new fiber art, which I guess it's not totally learning. I've definitely knitted before, but that's one of those things where it's like similar to a magic circle. You always have to look it up just to get a refresher. Just to remind myself how to cast on to a knitting needle, that kind of a vibe. I assume we're just doing 9 down from the peak here. But we're gonna check the pattern first because I didn't do that before and I lost like 5 hours of work. So the next 10. Okay. Skip to double crochet. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's been fun about doing, we're 4.5 hours in to this 24-hour project. And something that has been fun for me is like seeing how much I can get done in a certain amount of time. I like simultaneously, I don't know if it's some version of time blindness or what, but I simultaneously feel like I work really fast and I have the audacity to say I'm going to do a 6-day blanket in 24 hours, as well as another blanket, a beanie, and finish another cardigan. But then be gently humbled by the fact that it's been 4 hours and I've put a row of gingham into the other blanket and I've gotten 2 rows done here. Still not even done with day 1 of the 6-day blanket. So yeah, little reality check for me. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And then I'm skipping 2 and 10 back up the other side. I'm hoping once I get through this we're like in a part of the pattern where it's just going to be the same thing over and over again. Just more stitches, more collections of, the granny stitch, the triple double crochet. Is that right? I don't know if that's how you would refer to that, but the cluster. So hopefully it does get to the point where it can be a little more mindless and I can trust my instincts a little bit more because I've broken my own trust in working on this project. Let's see. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10. I like to count when I am working, but I also don't necessarily trust my counting, if that makes sense. So I end up having to, like, I'll get to the end of a round and decide that I need to go count again just to make sure I actually have it right. Is that gonna be the peak? Yes, it is. Okay. All right. So far, so good. I am thinking about, I think, in terms of entertaining myself while I keep working through this stuff, I am thinking about turning on an audiobook. I've got a couple hours left in. When Women Were Dragons is the name of the book. It is pretty good. It's very interesting and definitely brings that beautiful, fiery female rage that I love to feel through a book. You know, it's like kind of set in the 50s ish, a fantasy version of our 50s, and it's like female main character dealing with some sexism and stuff like that. But there's also dragons and women turning into dragons, and it's actually pretty cool. So I'm excited to see how that book ends. Hopefully, fiery. But then I've got a couple other books I want to get through. I have some goals for next year with reading. I didn't set any reading goals this year, and I didn't read anything. I'm a big audiobook user regardless, but I just like didn't feel like I could commit myself to a full story, which I know is silly, but it's like the same reason I'll sit down and binge 6 hours of TV but not want to watch a movie. But next year I think I want to, well, I mean, I can get started this year too, but I definitely want to get into Brandon Sanderson. I think that's another, like, in the same vein, like he's got so many books and I want to read all of them and I'm paralyzed and don't know where to start. So I think I'm going to start with Mistborn and see where we go from there. Stormlight Archives are also very high on the list. In fact, I have some friends who might force me to do that before Mistborn, but we'll see. So I might turn one of those on once we get to a good stopping point here. Yeah, I feel like there's like Brandon Sanderson is utterly prolific when it comes to, I mean, at this point, it feels like just generating content rather than like writing books. He's ripping them out constantly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So one too many. And yeah, it's kind of like there's so many different series out there that are all very highly rated. But I'm glad to hear that Mistborn was a good read. Makes me feel a little more confident in choosing that series. Double check the pattern again. This pattern, the 6-day star blanket from Betty McKnits, is has gotten a little bit of flack for being kind of hard to read, and it's not awesome. I think part of it is like there's a lot of ads on her website, but girl, get that bag, if you will. Um, so, but even when you like, I've like copied the pattern into a document. Well, one, you can buy a PDF version of the pattern, but I just took the pattern from her website, copied it into a Word document, and even then, like, still trying to read it is can be a little confusing because it's kind of in like a paragraph mode rather than, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, or bullet points or something easier to read. But if I take my time, it's not that bad. I don't think I did that right. No, it's fine. Okay. I was considering making my, until I realized that I needed to spend 24 hours straight working on a crochet project for holiday gifts. Before I realized that, I was planning to wrap up the year with a video where I just kind of reviewed my old videos and just took a look back on the year and all the wonderful things that I've made and all of the not so wonderful things that I've made. um, and give myself a good time to reflect. I might still do that just for myself. I think it's fun to watch where I've come from, where I'm going as I prepare for where I'm going, which I like to do at the end of the year. So we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's right. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Okay. 5 in the peak here. I already lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 5. Okay, so this is the progress we made so far. Definitely got a couple rows in, which again, we hit that color change in the color changing yarn, and that felt really good. And I guess I'll keep working to the next color, and we'll go from there. Thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with me. I'm almost at 5 hours. Actually, I'll go ahead and pause it while I sign off, but I really do. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll see you guys when I put out the full video here on YouTube. Keep an eye out. I'll recap the whole 24 hours and we'll see what else I can get done. All right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Take care.